Help is on the way, sir.
Did Robert have any idea what had happened to his wife?
He wasn't sure. He had found her in the tub, and he pulled her out.
She's the best. All she wanted her whole life was to be a mother.
Could he determine what had been the cause of Stacy's death?
The cause and manner were undetermined. Although she did have medications in her, a woman reached out to the Crime Stopper. She had spoke to Stacy Feldman the day she died.
There was no way I was going to let this man get away with murder.
Hi, I'm Nancy O'Dell. Today's Crime Expose takes us to Denver, Colorado. A city surrounded by the majestic Rocky Mountains became the backdrop for the heartbreaking death of a beloved mother and wife. Investigators sifted through confusing clues surrounding her passing, only to discover she had been the victim of a sinister crime, and her killer was hiding in plain sight. It was a frigid Sunday afternoon in March when a distraught husband called 911 at 3:21 p.m. from his South Denver home.
Help is on the way, sir.
The caller identified himself as 50-year-old Robert Feldman, and he told the dispatcher his wife of 10 years, Stacy, was unresponsive.
He reported that he had found her in the tub and that he pulled her out to do CPR. He was speaking with the 911 operator, and they were instructing him on how to do CPR.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Please help me, please.
Emergency responders raced to the scene and tried to revive Stacy. But it was too late to save the mother of two. 44-year-old Stacy Feldman was pronounced dead on the scene. Did Robert have any idea what had happened to his wife?
He wasn't sure. He said he didn't know what happened. He said she was on medication for different medical issues, and she had some recent injections in her spine for back pain.
Detective Randy Dennison arrived at the scene after emergency responders.
She was naked. She was on the floor in the main bedroom.
Investigators noted the bedroom was in disarray.
There was kind of a messy area in the bedroom, and the drawers were out on some of the dressers.
They wondered if someone had possibly broken into the home.
The window was open, and it was a very cold day. And then in the master bedroom, there was a balcony, but the glass door was open.
Stacy had some visible injuries.
She had a lot of bruises on her and contusions, quite a few, actually. And on her body, I observed a fentanyl patch on her shoulder, and then there was one on her lower back area.
Stacy's family had gathered downstairs while detectives questioned Robert about Stacy and her untimely death.
He had also told us that she had consumed some edible marijuana the night before at a party. And so we had gone into a room, and he showed us the containers for the edible marijuana.
Robert was cooperative and gave investigators consent to search his home.
We went in another room down on the main floor to talk to him, and he started speaking to us and then just kind of walked away like he was in shock.
News of Stacy's death spread quickly. Her sister Susan, who lived in Boston, received the heartbreaking call from her father.
I picked up the phone and he said, Stacy's dead. And I, was a little bit in shock, and I said, what do you mean? And he said, Stacy's dead.
Susan could not process what she was hearing. Her sister had always been so full of life.
I was waiting for him to say she was in a car accident, because that would have been the only logical explanation. And he said, I don't know what happened.
44-year-old Stacy Feldman had always wanted a family of her own, and she appeared to have fulfilled that dream.
She's the best, absolutely the best mother. All she wanted her whole life was to be a mother. She was very involved all the time.
She had just spoken to her sister the previous night.
She was feeling good, she was happy, she was getting ready for a party.
And by all accounts, Stacy was the life of the party who never met a stranger she didn't like.
Everybody loved her. She had so many friends and she created warmth everywhere she was.
But Stacy had recently been dealing with some health issues.
She had had some problems with back pain, injuries.
She had fallen off of a ladder at school when she was taking pictures of the children. So she wasn't in the best health when this happened, but she was getting better. And she felt really good and was really excited about the party that she was going to that night.
Stacy's older sister, Susan, was still processing her enormous loss when she flew to Denver and walked into her sister's home.
We went to the house and I looked around for anything that would be amiss, and everything was, perfectly in line.
Susan had a private moment with her brother-in-law.
I remember him sitting on the edge of the bed and crying. Then he ran down the hall to the children's bathroom and sounded like he was retching.
Susan was eager to learn exactly how her sister had died.
She had fallen the night before at the party that they went to. It was icy outside, and she had fallen. And part of me thought, maybe there is a real medical cause here.
Detective Dennison was also considering all possible options. The fentanyl patches he had seen on Susan piqued his curiosity.
We didn't find a prescription for fentanyl. There was a fentanyl patch on her shoulder. It was clearly older. Looked like it had been on for a while. And then there was one on her lower back that was over an abrasion. And I thought, well, I don't know, how is it possible you have a fentanyl patch on there?
And the medical examiner's findings raised more questions than answers.
The cause and manner were undetermined. Although she did have medications in her, none of them were significant levels to cause her death.
No traces of fentanyl or THC were found in her body.
So that, of course, is very odd. In fact, I kept thinking, well, could there possibly be a mistake? Because based on what Robert told us, she had consumed edible marijuana the night before. And then, again, we had fentanyl patches on her, yet we had no fentanyl in the bloodstream in her body.
Detectives tried piecing together Stacy's timeline on the day she died. Her husband, Robert, said he had last seen her that morning, around 8:30, when he left to take their 2 children to Temple. He said Stacy had stayed in bed.
She said she was tired and staying home, and then he left to take the children to the classes at the Temple, and they would start at 9 o'clock. And then that he had come home and he had gone to the park and worked out in the park.
Robert told Detective Dennison he found his wife unresponsive in the bathtub around 3:20 p.m., right after he picked up his children from school.
Stacy was supposed to pick up the children from Sunday school, and she had plans to pick up the children, and then with a friend and her kids, they were going to go to the Plum Carnival together around noontime.
But no one showed up to pick up Stacy's 2 children.
The school director calls the house, they call Stacy's phone, she calls Bob's phone, and she's leaving messages, and he still doesn't show up, and all the other kids have been picked up. She calls again, and Bob says, I'll be right there. And that's when Bob shows, and he's looking disheveled, and he's not acting himself.
Almost an hour late, Robert told the school director he wasn't aware he had to pick up the children.
One of their friends, Emily, was coming to pick up the children. We talked to Emily. She said, no, there was no such plan.
Investigators were starting to get conflicting stories.
Emily and Stacy had been texting that morning and were planning to meet. Emily never got any message from Stacy that she wasn't going to make it. So we were putting to this timeline together from what we knew from the school director, what Bob had told us, and there was gaps in it.
Robert's queries also came into suspicion.
I got a call from the medical examiner's office, and Bob had called there asking if there was a change in the autopsy report.
Detective Dennison tried to connect with Robert numerous times to ask him more questions.
We were kind of at a dead end, and I decided that I better just take a shot at him and see if he'll talk to me.
He finally reached him over the phone. During the recorded call, Robert stuck to his story about exercising that day.
To the school, and they had a little service there. They opened up the new school. And then I came back and I worked out, and then went back to school.
Oh, you worked out at home?
At the park.
Oh, okay. Were you back at your house at all though, during that time?
To change. I came back to change.
Robert said he never saw or heard anything suspicious at the time.
You didn't see Stacy then?
I didn't. I was in the laundry room. That's where I changed.
Wouldn't you normally talk to her if you were home?
Not normally.
He said he went to the park and worked out, so I asked him what he did in the park, what type of workout he does, because this was a very cold day. We had a lot of new snow the night before, and it seemed kind of odd to go to the park and work out.
And it was more than the weather conditions that seemed strange to Detective Dennison. On the call, Feldman had a somewhat limited memory of how he found Stacy that afternoon.
You found her, the call whether she was face up or face down in the tub?
I don't recall. I just remember grabbing her. I couldn't get a hold of her.
It was certainly suspicious. There was nothing more that we could really present to the medical examiner other than, yes, this is awful odd, it's suspicious, it doesn't fit.
Robert Feldman received a $750,000 life insurance payout after Stacy's death, but the investigation was just getting started. The medical examiner could not determine the cause of Stacy Feldman's death, but her husband Robert's behavior had piqued the curiosity of investigators as well as Stacy's family.
It was hard on her family, especially not having an answer.
But in June, police received a call that blew the case wide open.
A woman reached out to the Crime Stoppers and reported that she had had an affair with Bob and that she had spoke to Stacy Feldman the day she died.
Her name was Susan, and she claimed she had met Robert on the dating app Tinder.
So she had found that he was using not his real name in corresponding with her. She confronted him about it. He told her that he was separated from his wife. They shared the home for financial reasons and for the children. And so she ended up having an affair with him.
Robert had used the name Robert Wolf on the dating app, but Susan did her own digging and learned his true identity. Susan tracked down Stacy's email address and sent her a message.
What did she write to Stacy in the email?
If you're still married to Bob, he's having an affair. I just wanted to let you know that I had an affair with him. You can call me if you want. So she gives Stacy her phone number, and then Stacy calls her that morning.
Susan apologized to Stacy.
She said, he told me he wasn't married to you anymore. You guys just shared the house for financial reasons and for the children. She told Stacy the site she met Bob on. And as they were speaking on the phone, Stacy went into that dating site and found Bob and said, I just found him. I'm done with him. This has happened before.
Susan felt Stacy held no animosity towards her.
It sounded like Stacy understood and appreciated that she reached out to her.
Robert stopped contacting Susan after his wife's death, and she was left wondering if he and Stacy had worked things out. She told police she went online again, but this time, what she discovered was chilling.
She had gone back on the internet to find out if Bob was still with his wife, and she finds Stacy's obituary.
And what was her reaction to reading that obituary?
She went back into her emails that she had with Stacy and found that she died that very day that she had talked to Stacy.
Police confirmed her story with emails and phone records and dug deeper into Stacy and Robert's personal life.
They fought a lot, and when he was unfaithful to her and she would start talking about separation and divorce again, he would manipulate her, and she started believing that, she would lose the house and she wouldn't see her kids.
But investigators still needed more evidence before they could move forward with an arrest.
The district attorney's office declined prosecution because we didn't have a cause and manner of death. That was the big roadblock.
Detectives decided to send Stacy's autopsy report and a case file to Dr. William Smock, a strangulation expert based in Kentucky.
Could he determine what had been the cause of Stacy's death?
Yeah, his opinion was that she had been strangled and suffocated. She had bruises on her arms that certainly could have been defensive. There was areas that appeared to be where she'd been grabbed, and there was marks where fingers would have been.
It was the turning point of the investigation. Investigators finally had enough evidence to charge Robert Feldman with the murder of his wife, Stacy. Robert Feldman was finally arrested and charged with murder.
We were able to get to court and take guardianship of the kids before he actually was arrested.
7 years later, Robert Feldman had his day in court. He pled not guilty to first-degree murder charges.
What motive do you believe he had for murdering his wife?
I would think that she was going to leave him with the kids and kick him out. I don't think he had a very consistent income. I think that they had the things they had because of her and her family.
The emotional trial lasted almost 2 weeks.
He had no emotion. He sat there stone-faced throughout the entire trial.
Jurors deliberated for 3 hours before returning their guilty verdict. Robert Feldman was sentenced to life in prison. For Stacy's family, it was an enormous relief to see her murderer brought to justice.
I wasn't living. I couldn't survive. I could barely breathe. There was no way I was going to let this man get away with murder.
Today, Susan honors her sister's memory by sharing her story and raising awareness about domestic violence.
She has left such a hole in so many people's lives. She was that kind of person.
Stacy's sister, Susan, is now a fierce advocate for victims of domestic violence. She hopes Stacy's story will help survivors feel like they're not alone and inspire all of us to take action against domestic abuse and to fight for justice. And now it is time for today's Safety Spotlight. In the tragic case of Stacy Feldman, the victim's sister, Susan, suspected Stacy may have been a victim of emotional abuse and too scared to leave her husband, Robert. Emotional abuse in relationships can be difficult to identify and many times leads to physical abuse. It's important to recognize that emotional abuse can be in the form of infidelity, extreme jealousy, controlling a person's behavior, constant arguing or criticizing, gaslighting, and isolating the individual from family or friends. If you or someone you know is experiencing emotional abuse, help is available. Call 911 or the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. I'm Nancy O'Dell. For everyone here at Crime Exposé, please join us next time and stay safe.